Hey guys, today we're going to be turning a carver's mallet. I have a sturdy piece of ash here, and as you can see it's just a log, and I got it in between my centers. Before we get started, I'd like to give a big shout out to Captain Eddie Castellan. I'll put a link to him down below. Check out his YouTube channel, check out some of his videos, subscribe to him if you're liking what you see. And, but let's get started with the project. I'm going to go at this with my big roughing gouge. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to start this off at a pretty decent speed, more on the slow side than anything. I got my biggest roughing gouge here to go at this, and there might be bark flying everywhere, so I got a big face shield on, and I'm ready to go. Here we go. Okay, now that I've got most of the bark off and it's roughed into more of a cylinder than anything, I'm going to put it up to a higher speed and just get the rest of this down to the point where it's true. Here we go. Okay, I have this into a perfect cylinder, and I'm just going to keep on bringing my tail rest up closer and closer the more I cut down to avoid getting any catches, because ash is hard wood and I really wouldn't want to get a scraper or my skew or something like that caught and get it thrown up at me. Okay. Now what I got going on here is I have my smaller roughing gouge. This isn't the big one I was just using, this one's a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to start to shape. I think this is going to be the top and that'll be the bottom. Here we go. Okay, I'm not going to go down the rest of the way in the handle just yet because I want to get my parting tool. And I'm just going to bring this down a little bit more because you know what I'm afraid to do is I'm afraid to get my roughing gouge and have one of these wings here catch on either side. So here we go. Okay, now I'd like to take a little minute to talk about the skew chisel. This is actually kind of an underestimated tool. A lot of people really don't know how to properly use a skew chisel, and they end up getting catches or destroying a piece or having to go whoop and skidding back on them. But if you know how to use it, this is a really, really universal, really useful tool. So here's how it's used. So how I usually go about this is I take this side and I just let it ride without the blade cutting yet, and I slowly straighten out the edge so that where it's cutting is in the middle of the skew, and I just pull it out just a little bit until the blade hits, and then I just push along. So here we go. Okay, now I have a tiny little spindle gouge, and I'm just going to go in there and put the last details on the handle. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my parting tool. I'm going to go in here to make where the top's going to be. And the handle's all done, by the way. I like that shape. That's comfortable to hold. Here we go. Okay, I got that taken down there. I'm going to go ahead with my roughing gouge and my spindle gouge just for this bit here, and clean up the top a little bit. Here we go. Okay, it's ready to be sanded and finished in. I'm not going to spend too much time sanding because it's just going to get beat to death anyways. So I'm just going to go from 80 grit to 240 grit straight to 400 grit. So I'm going to skip a couple grits in between each one, I think, or something like that. Alright, here's what I got here. Paste finishing wax. I'm going to wet sand this time. I don't usually wet sand, but I wanted to try it this time to cut down on dust. So I'm going to put my lathe down at a low speed, and I'm just going to go ahead and start off with 80. Here we go. I'm going to move up to 240 grit. And now I'm going to finish up with 400 grit. Wet sanding might be a better way to go about sanding because it finishes nicer, and since you're sanding and finishing at the same time, it fills in all the pores of the wood, which is nice. this is the first time I've ever done it, so this is kind of new to me. Usually I go through all my grits, and then I put the finish on a paper towel and wipe it off. So I'm serious this time. That worked out nicely. Alright, now I'm just going to go ahead in with a paper towel and put it at the highest speed my lathe could go and buff it up. Okay, come on camera, don't shake. Alright, I got my hacksaw and I'm just gonna part it off like this. I'm okay, in case anyone's curious. Okay, now we'll just go ahead and clean up that top part. Okay, I just cleaned it up there, and the top, I know you see it's kind of ugly up there, but you know, like I said, it's just gonna get beat down anyways when I'm hitting stuff with it. And I like the weight of it. It's very comfortable. It's a little bit short, but you know, that feels kind of better in my hand for some reason. So I like it. Once again, it's ash wood because it's nice and hard. And again, check out Captain Eddie Castellan's channel. It should be right down there. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I have new woodworking videos every Friday. And comment with any ideas. And thanks for watching, guys. Like this if you like what you saw.